Right, g'day again. Okay, this is just a quick one. Just want to show you something. This is what causes Volkswagen Beetles to rust out in this area. And it's also the reason why your quarter panels rot out at the bottom. See? This foam, hopefully you can see it. You see daylight through there. Probably easier from this side. Alright. See what you got. Oh, and this is a bit rusted, but what you got in this vent tube is you've just got a little bit of a lip. It's about 1/2 inch high. And the water comes in there, like when it's stationary, yeah, it'll run out onto this channel. Once you get going, the wind's blowing, all that water blows straight up inside your quarter panel. Runs down to the bottom, rusts away. And what happens on barges too, when you haven't got this end section, and you've got your exhaust up high, is it will also suck fumes in through here. It comes out, comes right up here, over the top, into your cabin. So you get fumes coming in. And this is also a major factor as to why beetles burn to the ground when you get an engine fire. Because this panel is open, so if you get a fire, it comes up in here, ignites this foam, it's internal, you can't put it out. And yeah, burns up, catches all your roof light on, and before you know it, the bug's burnt to the ground. The other, while we're talking about fires, this is the other major factor, is that, and I just showed you before I put the fuel tank back in, but what happens with the Volkswagens is usually like a fire will start from a leaking fuel line, dripping down, drips on the exhaust, catches fire. Now, it'll burn that fuel line away, and then the fuel just keeps gravity feeding from the tank, and it just keeps feeding the fire, and you can't put it out. I've actually come across a combi that was burning, yeah, and I used up my whole fire extinguisher, and it was almost out, and then it just lit up again because of the fuel still pouring out of it. And yeah, so what I've done on mine, and I said I was going to show you. I don't think I can actually see it. We'll try. Might be able to see it. Get a torch in here. What I've done in mine is I got a fuel cutout switch. Didn't cost much, bought on eBay. I don't know if it's visible in there or not. Hey, that bit of red thing? Right, that's a fuel cutoff switch. So bought it on eBay. It's only $20–30. Been on there for 3 years, never had an issue with it. That's connected to the ignition. So as soon as you turn the ignition off, it cuts the fuel off. And the other thing too is it makes an excellent security protection. I've got that hooked to a switch, hidden switch. I'm not going to show you where the switch is, but yeah, if I park it anywhere suspect, I switch it off, and if somebody comes in, hot wires it, starts it up, and yeah, as soon as the carb is empty, like, you know, before it even gets out of the car park, it'll run out of fuel. And see, if you've got an ignition cutout switch, right, they jump in hot wire, no power. They know straight off that there's a switch somewhere, and they go searching for the switch, right? And or they hot wire it a different way, right? If they jump in, hot wire it, started up, right? They've drawn attention to themselves now, and they're now sort of on the verge of being in panic mode. See, all they want to do as soon as they've fired it up is I want to get the hell out of there, you know, because they've drawn attention to themselves. So they fire it up, yeah, they go 50 metres and run out of fuel. They're not going to hang around trying to figure out why it ran out of fuel. They're out, they're gone. And How do I know that? Well, let's not actually go into that, but just to say that in my youth I wasn't a law-abiding citizen. And yeah. So yeah, just a couple of tips. You know, if you are restoring it, it's a real good idea to block this off one way or another. In mine, I've fully welded it. You know, because I had all this panel off anyway, it was rusted out, so I just fully welded the whole thing. Because there's no ventilation in there, but yeah, it doesn't really need it. It's got ventilation through the front. Got, yeah, windows that open, and yeah, so it's not that necessary. I haven't had an issue with it. I've been driving around for 3 years, so never had an issue with not having fresh air in it. And yeah, but just by having that blocked off, there's no longer any water getting in there. So this foam soaks up water. You can see the rust on it. It's rusted away because it gets wet, it soaks up the water, and then it rusts the panel. So yeah, I no longer have that fire risk of the fire spreading up into the cabin, and I no longer have water coming around here because I blocked that off. Anyway, yeah, rambling on now. This is longer than I intended to make the video for. So, okay, thanks for watching. Bye.